Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Oh boy, if I had a problem getting the show up and running, and I hope you guys are still hanging in there. I appreciate it if you are. Man, technology, it wasn't anything I was doing. I was having trouble connecting to all these gizmos I have to connect to. And now I think we're good to go. Just let me get Susan in here. Okay, Suze.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Okay, so listen, the way things are going, if things like drop out in the middle of who knows
Yeah,
what,
hello for now.
Yeah, we're okay for the moment. Good God.
Well, Happy New Year.
Are you kidding? Is this the first time we've done? I guess it is.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to you too. It's 2025. Which is I like the sound of that year. It's a quarter
2025.
century.
Well, it's a quarter. We're a quarter century in.
Yeah. So there's something sort of muscular about 20.
Yeah, and we're in the roaring 20s, and we're about to hit the depression.
And we're about to hit a depression.
And we got a world war coming up too.
Yeah, who knows what we're about to hit? God help us. That's all I have to say. God help us. Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, you heard that Facebook announced this morning that they aren't going to do any more fact checking. That's that's up to the comment. That's up to the comment section, which of course they'll delete.
Yeah, well, but why should they have to live in a fact-based world?
Why should they have to? I mean, all responsibilities removed.
Yeah, so it's a free-for-all now, guys.
Just reap the benefits. Absolutely no corporate responsibility implied.
Nope.
Or proffered.
Well, and it's one of the reasons Zuckerberg and all, have bowed to Trump. They saw the writing on the wall. They know.
I think they should all hand over their firstborn. Let's jump to the chase.
God almighty. I can tell there's sort of like I've built up this internal firewall so that I can talk about this.
You don't get enraged. Yeah,
well, I can talk about this, but not feel it, not allow myself to really visceral, sort of like when you're talking about your own death, you're talking about it, but you're not letting yourself viscerally there. And I feel like that's what I'm doing now.
I don't know. I get a little wistful every once in a while.
Yeah. I'm starting to sound like our brother. I wouldn't care if I don't wake up tomorrow. He's one of the last things he said to me. And I said, well, what do you mean you wouldn't care?
Well, I would, so wake up, goddammit.
You wouldn't know? You wouldn't know if you didn't wake up tomorrow. So much for caring or not. Whatever. So, yeah, let's not, mostly. I mean, I just don't, I did come upon something that just showed how, somebody, I forget where, posted a text that Trump's Hope Hicks, I forget exactly what position Hope.
I think she was an early communications person.
Maybe, yeah. But Hope on January 6th texted Ivanka, God help us, Ivanka's chief of staff, the following text. Let me find this, because it shows how, Hope Hicks was thinking what we all were thinking, that if we somehow, the country survived this nonsense, that Donald Trump was toast, right? So Hicks texted Ivanka's chief of staff this. The Trumps are royally fucked. In one day, he ended every future opportunity that doesn't include speaking engagements at the local Proud Boys chapter. And all of us that didn't have that didn't have jobs lined up will be perpetually unemployed. I'm so upset. We all look like domestic terrorists now. Not being dramatic, but boy, are we all fucked.
Yeah, well, not so much.
Isn't that something? Because
Well, that's what should have happened.
Of course, because that's what of course. And that no, they're not fucked. They're back in power, put there by the American people. And it is really, I was thinking of, it is unbelievable, and I'll never be able to comprehend it. And it's a word I thought of today that I haven't used yet about it, is really the one, it is galling. It is so galling, it is beyond belief. Anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's humiliating,
Well, whatever. Here's the good news. Jean-Marie Le Pen is dead. That's a good thing that happened today. That's the father of the current neo-fascist wannabe head of France. But he's now dead and gone. I mean, just a flat out Nazi. So there's that. That's my good news. And then in terms of putting things in perspective, there was this story about how in the south of England they've uncovered dinosaur prints.
Dinosaur tracks, right. 3 herbivores and a carnivore for some reason.
Right, three huge herbivores that were strolling. They figured these guys moved in groups, perhaps in herds or packs. And these guys were heading north. And then on their trail, because you could tell these were coming later, was a track of a carnivore, a smaller carnivore. And I was thinking that what struck me was the date of when these guys were taking their stroll in the south of England. It was 166 million years ago. I mean,
really cool.
I can't get my head around that.
It puts us in perspective.
Yes. What it puts in perspective is what a minuscule blink we are. Donald Trump is. And who knows, I don't know that we'll leave much of a record because we're just going to blow up the whole thing. But that 166 million years ago, these magnificent beasts were roaming around, and they were roaming around in what was then. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna. I mean, I think I'm gonna start over, or see if Susan's gonna try to call in one more time, and let's just. This is ridiculous. I don't think you're out there. Son of a bitch. Oh God. I'm going to think of the dinosaurs. I'm going to think of the astonishing reality that this globe was here, and 166 million years ago it had already been here for millions of years, and these massive creatures thought they were the be all and end all. Ha! Well, we're soon to be dinosaurs too. Yeah, it's not happening, guys. Not happening. I'm not seeing. Let's see, one more shot. Gigi says she's hearing me. That just came in. Is that true? And how come I'm not getting anything on chat? Okay, but Suze has not been able to get back in. Son of a bitch. You know what, guys? I'm going to babble a little bit longer. Gigi or somebody, try to let me know you're alive there on my chat. Otherwise, I'm hanging it up. Or a few more on email. Margaret. Okay, so you are hearing me, some of you. All right. I guess I'll keep going then. But the chat doesn't seem to be working. I can't get phone calls because Susan can't get in. Yeah, Suze, I can't, if you're hearing this, I can't, it's just not working. I'm not seeing your call. Just, it ain't there for me. Nothing's working. I just don't know what, okay. Well, I'm going to do some things I wasn't planning on doing because I had sort of a show all set up for Suze, and I'm hoping maybe we can get her. Chat is up and I am live, says Milton, but how come I'm not seeing the chat? Because my fucking thing ain't working. Okay. Well, Susan, we'll try maybe tomorrow if you can. But I don't want to use this stuff that I was going to use for Susan, so I'm just going to make this up on the fly. Okay. I thought one of the interesting things that unable to connect to chat. this. Engage with my audience, it says here. Well, fuck you. Excuse me. James Carville, who, famously said it's the economy, stupid, has written a piece for the New York Times in which he says it's the economy, stupid, but it's more than that. Because what it is the perception of the economy. And this, yes, I know. And this is where our side is in peril and seems incapable of learning. I got to tell you, all the indicators that I'm looking at are saying I'm not here. I'll keep going until somebody tells me not to. I mean, I'm looking at a thing that says an error occurred. Please try again later, and shows absolutely no. What the fuck? Okay, so this is truly troubling. I mean, and he puts it together pretty well. It is, and it's something I've talked about, our inability to get our message out. First of all, to come up with a message that is something a lot of people want to hear. We made a grave, grave error. We turned away from the, bread and butter issues that regular people who are not inclined to follow politics with the avid interest that some of us do, uh, we need to get in their heads. It's they have the power. And we keep talking to each other, and we're clueless. We're out. Of, well, for God's sake, Susan. Susan, I'm doing the show. You can't call. No, but you can't. You think you'll get on speaker?
No. I couldn't tell if you were doing the show. I can't hear you on YouTube. Okay, goodbye.
All right, goodbye. Now, if anyone heard her there on speaker, I'll tell her to call back and we'll put her on speaker. Okay. So I don't know why, since we're supposedly the educated ones, why all us smarty pants are incapable of playing the game the way the game is being played now. Getting to people the way people are gotten to now. Getting off our high horses and listening to what people's concerns are. The problem with now being the party of the elite, which is what we are, is that most people aren't elite. And most people do not have college educations. And most people are living paycheck to paycheck and living with a great deal of anxiety and getting news from unreliable sources. And unless we're willing to understand that and stop talking to each other, I mean, this show is an example. This is an echo chamber, pretty much. And a show like this doesn't move us anywhere. Not that I'm telling you to go away, because we do. The name of this show is, you can't make it up, but it also is Misery Loves Company. And in that regard, I want us to stay together because misery loves company. But if we want to win again, then we've got to shake ourselves out of all of our certainties and meet the non-elite where they are and stop trying to tell them where to be or what to think or how to speak or what to believe or anything. Get off our high horse. The way people get information now is, I'm old school, and most of you are, I suspect, too. I'm still, reading newspapers. Oh, wait a minute. I got a call. How is that possible? Hello? Hello? Hello, hello? Is that Susan? Anyway. I'm ready. I'm ready to lose my mind. I'm gonna really quickly tell my sister to try again. Okay. Okay, so Carville says that, what, since perception is everything, we kept telling people, no, this is the best economy there's been in a long time. Everything's great. And all that told a lot of voters is we don't give a shit about them, which of course isn't true. So we got to get better at learning how to reach people the way they get information. And we're not doing it. The right has all of these ways. We've got butkus, seriously, butkus. Susan. Suze? I'm going to shoot myself because I think I've got her in, but I can't hear her. Suze, according to my thing, you're on, but I can't hear you. So before I shoot myself, let's just forget it, okay? Let's forget it. I'll keep talking for a while for those that are here. But Suze, you made it in. I see that in the queue. I punched you in, and then you didn't. I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? Okay, that's an entire other number that I'm trying to get in, and nothing is. I'm not hearing on my end. I'm sorry. The whole operation is fucked up. Okay, so no more calls. Sorry. Apologies to my sister, the other caller, but we're just going to go back and I'll try to finish up. I have an appointment too, a little after 11. So I'll just try to fill for another half hour and then we'll see if we can get this fixed. Whatever. But I mean, I really think that, what Carville says is so important. He said, we got to focus on, these are his words, on revving up a transformed messaging machine. And we got to find ways to talk to our fellow Americans about their lives, not as they live them, not as we want them to live them. Got to get off that. I'm so sick of it and have been for years of our nagging people. We got to find ways to talk to them about things they care about that is persuasive. Simple as that. But apparently it's not simple for us highly educated elite. And as Carville says, repetitive. It's bumper stickers, guys. I've been saying it for years. Repetitive, memorable, and entirely focused on the issues that affect Americans every day, not stuff they're not thinking about or caring about, or that if you ask them, they care about, but it's way down on their list. It's not something that keeps them up at night, okay? If we're not willing to meet them where their concerns are, we're done. And so it was extraordinary. It was extraordinarily. No, Leah. Jesus, that was Sister Susan's daughter. God. Okay, okay, okay. I can't. Um, I'm going back to bed. Anyway, he I think he said, although maybe it was somebody else I read, that this thing we loved about Kamala Harris and her saying, talking about the politics of joy and her smiling and all this, that we thought that's what people want to feel good again, to feel hopeful, to be upbeat, to smile, all of this ugliness and negativity that Trump is peddling, this sense that like America is this dystopian hellscape. And we figured, well, we had the winning formula here. But a politics of joy was just totally tone deaf. We were idiots. We didn't understand the moment. We didn't understand how most people were feeling. And the reason is because we don't know those people. And Carville says this, and he's absolutely right. We have to stop making Trump our main focus. It didn't work because we are so appalled by him. Because we, as I was saying at the beginning of this show 5,000 years ago, that I'll never comprehend how he got away with what he got away with. That yesterday we watched a peaceful transition of power only because he'd won this time. And Democrats were in charge and playing by the rules. And look where that got us. We got to get out of our own heads. Carville says, it's clear many Americans don't give a rat's ass about Trump's indictments, about his anti-democratic impulses, about any of the social issues we care about. All they care about is providing for their families and themselves and maybe getting a little bit ahead. Now, we can excoriate them for that selfish outlook. And we can keep losing. Trump knew something we didn't know, how angry they are. And they're angry, right, about, in some ways, the same things we're angry about. We're angry about the billionaires and the corporations and healthcare and all that stuff. How this rapacious capitalism that's taken over is benefiting such a small little slice of humans and screwing so many others. Now, the elite, that'd be us generally, we're still doing okay. But a lot of those Trump voters, they are not. And it doesn't matter that he's surrounded by the billionaires, the corporations, and all the people that are in fact responsible for making his voters' lives miserable if they don't see that. Carville says, denouncing other Americans or denouncing the guy they vote for isn't going to win us any elections. The only thing that's going to win us elections is focusing on the pain that they feel and showing how it's the Republicans' agenda that is making their pain worse, and figuring out how to get that message loudly and clearly and repetitively through to them. And you don't do it on old media. You don't. And I'm on old media, and everything I hear is that we ain't where we need to be on the new stuff. And in fact, the billionaires are buying up all the media platforms, are they not? Old and new. Carville suggests that we make clear that as Trump and the Republicans got to figure out, and it doesn't happen by us going on MSNBC or even CNN. We've got to get these influencers, these younger people on their platforms. We need, oh God, I don't know. And Carville says, and since we have no power in the Congress, we have to force Republicans to vote on things to oppose us that will unmask them. We must be on the offensive. We must get them to oppose a $15 federal minimum wage. Right? We must figure out how to find common ground with the people who voted for Trump and show them that we are with them. Carville says, I'm an 80-year-old man who can see clearly that we're barreling toward a non-traditional and decentralized media environment. Podcasts are the new print newspapers and magazines. Social platforms are now the social conscience. Influencers, God help us, are digital stewards of that conscience. I was railing about influencers the other day to my son, and he said, Mom, what do you think you've been doing all your life? Back to Carville. Our economic message must be sharp, crisp, clear, and we must take it right to the people. To Democratic presidential wannabes, your auditions should be based on two things: how authentic you are on the economy and how well you deliver it on a podcast. We will live or die by winning public perception of the economy. It's still the economy, stupid, but it's actually the perception of the economy, as we, with our politics of joy, found out. Oh. So, there was an article. I'm off that now. There was an article in the Washington Post, which I know I'm supposed to have canceled my subscription by now, but since that's how I get my news, and they still have a few reporters. Oh, I still read, but I had a big complaint today because they did this story, the headline of which caught my attention, uh, which said, let me find it, which said, these common medications could be releasing forever chemicals into the environment. And I think since I take about 7,000 medications daily, I thought, oh, geez, what common medications are they that have forever chemicals in them? And then they're getting into the water supply. Do you know what? I read the entire frigging article. And never in the article did they list the medications. I kid you not. The headline said, these common medications. And then they went into describing them in these. And then the other thing, of course, fuck you. Excuse me, that's me responding to my computer. That's me responding to my computer. They just informed me that my OBS connection was now resecured. Fine timing, you sons of bitches. Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry. God, I'm sorry. This is me. I can't help it. Well, yes, I can. I don't care to. So I'm left with this disquieting headline and the disquieting understanding that I daily ingest medicines that apparently contain within them forever chemicals, and nowhere in the article are the medications identified, nor do they answer the question that I have, other than what the hell are the goddamn drugs? But how the hell is it okay to make drugs that people take that contain chemicals that are known to be hazardous? I mean, if there's concern about something ingest every day, doctor's orders, being released through my waste into unsuspecting folk who don't know, who don't take those particular forever chemicals by doctor's orders. Unfucking believable. This is journalism at its worst. I mean, it is so bad. All the article did was make me anxious and leave me with a million unanswered questions. So now I know, and by the way, some of the areas of drugs that contain these forever chemicals that we're now desperately trying to avoid but cannot because they're surround us, and it turns out are in us, all of us. Some doctor's orders are, let's see, things that people take for AIDS, people, I think diabetics, what was the other stuff? Beta blockers, statins, It was endless, but there was a specificity to the chemical terms, which could have been translated into actual drug names and never was. This is reportage at its worst. I had a friend over the other day, and she was talking about how we just got to stop. Successful, and again, I say to you, fuck you. Okay, and the other thing could be just, I don't know, I forgot what I was saying. See old person. Son of a bitch. So anyway, listen, if I get this all fixed up, I'll hope to have Susan on tomorrow, and then we can get into some of these subjects that I had wanted to get into, which, by the way, were generally, they didn't involve the fucking Republicans. Hey, I was doing a crossword puzzle the other day, and I got the answer right, but only because there were some, clues that led me to the right answer, but I can't remember why. And it said only vice president to have a Nobel Prize. And I got the answer. It was Al Gore. But what the hell did he get a Nobel Prize for? Was it for his movie? An Inconvenient Truth? I mean, they don't give them for movies, but then again, Bob Dylan got one for literature. So, what the hell was his? Doesn't matter. I mean, I can obviously look it up. So, there's all of that. I don't know why, but I literally watched the entire vote count yesterday. And I just want to say Kamala Harris is such a dignified, lovely human being. That's all I want to say. And I also want to say something that I said to a friend, that Donald Trump is, if we step back, is the perfect person to represent this country at this time. Because we are a country that is all about greed, about getting yours and screw everybody else. We are a country with an ethos that reflects his, if he can be said to have one, self-interest, vulgarity, he is in every way a perfect embodiment of the grotesquerie of America 2025, which is not to say that there is an America that still tries to embody the better angels of our nature. And I would argue again that watching Kamala Harris yesterday, she embodied that America. And that America was rejected at the polls, which is why I do think, in some respects, America got it right. because the vulgarian that they elected does seem to me in many ways I'm sorry, I'm sniffing in your ears, a proper representation of what we've become. And on that happy note, I bid you a fond adieu, and I am going to attempt to play my outro if the tech gods allow, and I will hope that tomorrow I can do a show where I am not made to scream expletives at you, or again, choose to, by virtue of being put upon. Have a wonderful day.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.